Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stanton Gossip. The one where we have it named as Media Cut. So why don't we use that? As you can see, it's me and Maso. As always, I am back in my studio, which kind of feels good.
With a different angle this time.
Yeah, I've turned everything around. There's nothing in here now except for like streaming stuff, and that's it. And Maso is in Dreamland. He skipped the night of sleeping and now is like in Tom and Jerry when like they use like sticks.
Yeah. Prop open my eyes. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
It's fine though. These episodes
reasons
we set up early, so and I'm kind of happy that we're doing this, which is like usually sub half an hour and not the straight out of Stanton. All right, so let's get on point or immediately. We're gonna start with something semi-funny.
It's legitimately funny. Come on, it's funny.
It is. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Yeah, it's definitely funny. So CaptainBerks did a tweet, and we have it in the description. It's like a poll or the questionnaire that he's answering, where it's like three options: male, female, star citizen. Where he checks star citizen.
Yeah.
And then looking for male, female, 314 PTU.
It's like a dating site, but yeah, yes. No, it was clever. I laughed.
So good.
I laughed.
Yeah, and
that's it. There's nothing. There's no story behind that. It's just funny.
However, if you watched our last episode straight out of Stanton, we also had CaptainBerks mentioned there, because right after we were done with last episode's Stanton Gossip, we ended up watching his video that is called Honest Look at the Best and the Worst Coming in Star Citizen 314. I think very, very fair take on everything.
Yeah.
I don't think he missed many points. I think we both agreed with a lot of it. And it's very short, compact video with like a bunch of like...
What is that, like? It's like 10 minutes?
No, like not even like 6 or something. So... So really, really good stuff. It's not about like visuals. It's more about him. And guys, why I kind of like listening to whenever he does something like this, he plays the game more than anyone else, I think.
Yeah.
Berks is always in game. So always good to like check it out.
Yeah,
right.
It's honestly, and like credit where credit's due, he gave us a lot of the inspiration for the stuff we talked about last Straight Outta Stanton anyways. So yeah. Yeah, definitely worth watching.
We literally watch his episode, this video again before the show to be like, okay, is there anything we're missing? And yeah, really, really cool stuff. Check it out. Okay, now this one is not fun at all. This is something that we've been.
But it's real.
It's very real. We've been mentioning a lot. Forever.
Just mainly this last year, right? Because we've had this kind of a drought, so we've been seeing a lot of content creators really expressing, burnout, including us expressing, burnout with Star Citizen, and and I mean in this case, the first one we're linked is just basically a link to I don't know if you're familiar with the streamer Glitched in Orbit. She typically streams Star Citizen, but just kind of being honest and expressing kind of how like she's so burnt out with the way the game is right now, but she feels like she has to kind of maintain her audience. And like you might go like, oh boo hoo, like you play video games for a living or whatever, even though I don't think she is a full-time streamer. But it is a real thing, right? Like to feel that pressure, like you have to keep playing, a game that you're not having fun with anymore, just because you want to kind of like maintain, your viewership and not have your community kind of migrate away from you. It's I don't know.
It's very real, and it's very important for people to understand. We have some big streamers in Star Citizen who know this and mention it, like Salty Mike.
Moist Noodle.
Moist Noodle as well. And I have experienced this on my own skin. I've said this many times. I've streamed Elder Scrolls Online for a long time, got huge numbers there. I got partnered, was making a lot of money, and I was full-time streaming at the time. And then I got burnt out on that game. Did not really agree with what Bethesda is doing with their like community and whatnot when it comes to Elder Scrolls Online. And I've changed the game, and I went from hundreds to maybe 10, 15 viewers on average. And here's the thing though, I just want to point this out, because some people on Twitter try to make this what it is not, from non-experienced point of view, not because they're bad beans or anything like that. It's not that really. They just don't understand.
It's ignorance. It's a lack of understanding, kind of being on the other side of the camera. But
so I was kind of told that that's because of how I built my connection to my community. What you don't understand, like when you have hundreds of people watching your stream, a lot of these people are there for the game, and some of them are there for you, but majority is there for you and the game. And the fact that you change the game and you're not maintaining the numbers does not mean that these people hate you or anything like that. They come and go. Like, I will have people show up from those days, checking on me if I'm okay, saying hi, and then they go back to Elder Scrolls Online and watch someone else, because I'm not the only person streaming Elder Scrolls Online. And whoever thinks that
exactly
on Twitch people are watching you for who you are and the game doesn't matter, this applies to a really tiny amount of streamers, and not even the biggest ones. Like, and these are the variety streamers who built their streams throughout many years of being that, streaming different games. Their personality, that's right, people are, whoever is streaming one game for a long time, such as Star Citizen, if they switch the game, unless they have 20 viewers, most likely they will drop viewership for like 80-90%. And that's just the reality. People will still sub to your channel, but they will not be there. You will not have people to chat with or whatnot. So it's a real problem, and this is something I discovered with Star Citizen long ago, and it's unfortunate. I think it will be a great place to stream when the game comes out and there's a lot of content, but right now I ran away from it.
It can be. And this is the thing. I think it's just important to kind of like bring these things to light, even whether you're a content creator or somebody who's like consuming that content. Just because I think it's important to kind of recognize, that it can be really tough on mental health when like when you're dealing with this sort of stuff, regardless of whether or not you're making your living this way, right?
Yeah, true.
And it's something I wouldn't call myself a streamer. Like, I've streamed Star Citizen a little bit, but even that little bit of a taste of being behind the camera, man, like there's just days where you just feel like shit because, like, I don't know, nobody showed up or nobody was active in chat, and you just felt like, and you're just sitting there going like, what am I doing what's wrong with me? Yeah, exactly. Like,
when in reality it's not you, just the way the Twitch works and all that. But yeah.
So I don't know. I just think it's something that's important to kind of like recognize and then show support to the people who are expressing it, because like clearly they're kind of in a rough spot. So
it's so important for them to know that they're not the only ones. This is why I usually comment on these things. However, there are people who are right there the next second telling them, "Oh, it's you. It's not the game," or whatever the fuck. It's like, I don't like. Come on, man. It's a human being on their hand, and they're facing something that is very unpleasant. So
and speaking of it's not you, it's the game. So the next post that we're highlighting, a tweet that we're highlighting, is from Mr. Moist Noodle, who's basically in a similar situation of burnout, but just talking about like how absolutely rough it has been trying to get Star Citizen to have any sort of stability for him. And the reason we're highlighting this is because, and we've touched on this a couple times throughout various like previous episodes of Straight Outta Stanton, that one of the craziest things about Star Citizen is just how varied the user experience is. Like Chegg, how many patches did we go where like I would be having a great experience, everything was stable, everything was working fine, and like you were having to account reset like twice a play session, like anyways, so that's kind of the situation that Moist Noodle's kind of expressing frustration with. And sure enough, there's some numbnuts in the comments basically saying like, well, it's fine for me. It must be you. You must be an idiot or something. It's like,
basically,
and again,
and they mentioned like, oh, there's other streamers who are playing the game and they don't have any issues, so it must be you, buddy. And
yeah,
that's so crazy. Like, people need to stop doing this. This is a big problem.
Exactly it. This was our point in the last episodes where we talked about this. Is like, it is not helpful to say it's fine for me, therefore you must suck. Like let's just all acknowledge the fact that
it's an alpha game. There can be so many reasons for your client not to work as well as someone else's client, or the other way around.
I've skipped entire patch cycles that everybody has been saying are super stable because I just can't get the game to be stable for me, like, and it'll vary patch to patch. So
I still don't get the 30k in 313, but what, does that mean that the game is working fine? No, it just works good for me this patch, or I'm lucky or whatever. Like, that doesn't mean that if a streamer, especially like, come on, Moist, just like CaptainBerks, they're in Cutlet, like, they're always on Twitch playing the game. So if you tell him that it's him, oh man, like, if anyone knows, just either don't say anything or pat them on the back and say like, it's gonna be better, man.
Exactly.
Like, just, some support, or just
like,
gonna pass by, dude. Like, fuck off,
Public service. This is our public service announcement right here. The last thing they need to hear is it's fine for me, so you must be an idiot. Like,
which
like,
there's their bread, right? Like, there's their bread. It's how they make money for a living. So it's kind of crazy, dude.
On top, like, whether you're a content creator or not, if you've played Star Citizen for any length of time, you know how this game can be. You know how frustrating this game can be sometimes. So commiserate, don't can call them an idiot and blame them, because like, we all know how this game can be. It is not a consistent experience. Not helpful. Okay.
The link is in the description, and you can click on it. In his post, there's a link to the original post where the problem occurred, and you're gonna be maybe surprised at how long this thread is, with a lot of funny gifs as well. And you're gonna see some of the some of the most known people, and some completely not related, just people who play Star Citizen, not content creators and whatnot, reacting to this in both ways. So it's kind of good read in a way. You might recognize a couple of nicks there. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Drama. We bring you the drama. That's kind of what this episode's about.
All right, so the next one, we did not talk about this. We both watched it, and I didn't want to talk about it before we start the show. It's BoredGamer did an interview with two ex-CIG developers from Austin Studio. And he talked about they talked about how it was to work for CIG when they were employed. One of them seems to be employed like very long ago, and the other one not that long ago, if I figured it out. And they still live thereabouts and are in touch with a lot of people who work there. Yeah, and they're both still backers, but they're both just working for other companies now. But I thought that it was interesting too, because it was two very different perspectives. Like, you had one guy who was a basically customer support rep, and then you had the other guy who was I think a technical artist or something like that. And it was about half an hour long, and I thought it was interesting just hearing the perspectives. This is obviously coming a little bit later on, but if you guys have been around for a while, you'll remember last winter where Kotaku put out that article kind of talking about how shit CIG was to work for and stuff like that, and how they made the Austin studio work even when all the power was out and there was blizzard and shit like that. And it's just interesting to hear that from people who have actually worked there. And obviously it's a small sample size, so take it with a grain of salt, but I think these sorts of interviews are good counterpoints to the clickbait drama that we see constantly from various news, quote unquote, news outlets. I agree, but there's something I want to mention. These guys worked for CIG for quite a while. You can hear that in the interview, and they were treated well. And I think they're spot on when they say, oh, when you saw an article, we did not believe in that. Obviously, they contacted those that they know to make sure, but like they did not believe that's true and all that. That's fine. But when they talk about the game, it's kind of, you can't, like, this is so hard to explain. Like, because of the fact that this was such a great place to work, or still is, I hope, and I believe so, their perspective of the game, I think, is kind of white knightish. And I listen to them when they talk about these things about like Kotaku and that whole article and how it is to work for CIG. I listen to them and I hear passion, and like, you know, this is how I feel about working for certain companies before, where I'm like, yes, I would go there and work now again because they treated me well. I feel good about it and all that. However, you know, I'll take an example. I used to work for Royal Caribbean Cruises for a long time, and I love their ships. I trust their crew, and if I would cruise now, I would go with Royal. However, there's a lot of people who have had bad experiences and would be like, yeah, no, dude, you don't understand what Royal does or whatever. And this is the vibe that I get from these guys. I don't blame them for that. Like
to be fair though, they did actually mention earlier on in the episode, they said basically that, like, obviously it's a big company and there are going to be people who did not have a good experience working there.
Oh no, I don't even think it's the experience. I think it's their perspective of the game is like higher than what maybe realistically it is. Like, there's so much enthusiasm because and how would you not have it if you worked on the project?
Maybe.
Right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's valid, it's fair. I just don't take it as like important info, kind of.
Take everything with a grain of salt, obviously, and to be fair, again, like, just to be clear here, Board specifically mentions to them a lot of times that he doesn't want to put them on the spot that they're talking about stuff that they can't talk about, you know, because obviously they're probably still under NDA.
But it warms my heart to hear how genuinely well,
I will say,
they were, you know, treated.
On the other side of that, just to go back to the previous point, on the other side of that as well, they could have a positive experience of the game because they've seen more of it than we have.
For sure.
You know, that is also equally probable. So, but at any rate, it's a good interview. They're good guys. They're good to listen to. Like, they speak well and they're interesting and they're
They have better microphones than anyone currently working in CIG, including this Colanda.
Yep. Nobody's eating their microphone or breathing heavily into the mic. Yeah.
Oh,
anyways.
All right.
Next one is kind of rough, man. Like, I know last Stanton Gossip, we were talking about kind of, you know, how BoredGamer has had, you know, his dad's brain cancer has come back, and Morphologist had his identity stolen and stuff like that. And man, this week we got even more bad news. Space Tomato, who's located in Turkey, apparently had to evacuate his house due to flooding. They barely got out.
I don't think that's in Turkey though. I think he's currently in the States. Yeah.
Is he? Oh, okay.
I might be wrong, but he came back home.
No. He's definitely in Turkey because he's on Turkcell.
Okay.
That was part of that post.
I don't pay enough attention.
Yeah, it's been
it doesn't really matter, man. Like, honestly, it doesn't really matter. There's a picture, his place flooded. It's man, and you know,
they said that they almost lost the car when they went back just to get the dogs and stuff out. But
which and the first thing he said is, we evacuated the house, and he said that they're fine, but you know, he doesn't know how the content creation will go in the near future. Again, like we always say, if you have it in you, click on the link, you know, click on that little heart, maybe write a tiny message of support or something. It feels good, man. You know, it's difficult for people to deal with these situations, for anyone. Like, it's just, no one deserves this. It's like you against the nature, and it just smashes you. It's sad.
And the Star Citizen community has like a reputation for being supportive and generous and stuff like that. So definitely show some support to Space Tomato. He's I would say, in my opinion, easily one of the best Star Citizen content creators out there, as is evidenced actually by the next one we were going to talk about, which is his he does a video on the UI update coming, and
Man.
dude, just like high quality, like just really well edited, really well narrated, really well scripted. Yeah, so
I said it's 10 out of 10. You know, it reminds me like when you watch like Discovery Channel maybe, and like in between, you know, the long shows, there's like there's just like these shorts, like 10-minute, you know, specials about something, and I get that vibe just with better narration. Like his voice is fucking good, man. It's so good.
The B-roll is good, like everything is just snappy, and it's like it's really on point. And he goes through basically like where the Star Citizen UI was when we first got Arena Commander, like all the way up until the new UIs that we're looking at. The near
future even, right? What we were expecting in 3.14, 3.15.
Yeah.
And he talks about Iron Man as well, so without too much I
won't spoil it, but I was surprised by that one. I had no idea.
You might learn something new. Really good video. It's sub 10 minutes again. He's amazing with this. So yeah.
Watch the video, show him some support, etc. Because he's going through some tough times.
Before we go to last two, I just want to say we talked before the show, and I think we agreed that we can bring this up as a topic in Straight Outta Stanton next week, unless something major blows out within CIG. And that is, we have a lot of people, content creators, especially on YouTube and Twitch, actually diving into from Elite Dangerous, diving into and making serious content about Star Citizen. And I have a theory on this. I don't want to jab at Elite Dangerous at any given time. That's not my point. But I think the recent events in ED created this mistrust, and maybe like over expectations did not like come to fruition, and people turned around and checked what's happening in SC, and thanks to that we got some crazy good videos, man. Like really good videos. So we picked two for you guys this week.
Well, mine's technically a series, so it's actually 6. But
I wanted to say like two content creators rather than like So go for it. Like this one is yours. It's really good.
Okay, so the first one is by Commanders Will and Kate, and they're from Elite Dangerous, as we said. And basically, in her case, I didn't really get the impression that she was, what's the term that they said in Captain's Table this last week? A refugee from Elite Dangerous. I didn't get that impression from her, or at least she didn't really go into it. But this is from the perspective of somebody who's played a lot of Elite and is jumping into Star Citizen for the first time. And it's just, and again, we've talked about this a few times in Straight Outta Stanton. But like, you really get that, like, the warm, fuzzy feelings of just watching somebody experience all those wow moments that you get when when you're first playing Star Citizen.
Little victories, like getting to your ship, like walking around,
being able to walk, like just how stoked she is that she has a ship interior she can walk around. She just doesn't stop talking about it. She's just like constantly just like, I have a bed in my ship. Like, she's just so stoked about it. It's really fun. And it's, especially if you're jaded Star Citizen players like us, it'll bring a smile to your face. 100%. Her narration is a little bit flat. I'm not. She's not a huge content creator. I think they're just under 10K on YouTube or anything. So I think maybe fairly new to it. I'm not quite sure, but I really enjoyed her storytelling style. She's got kind of like a almost like she's like writing in a journal, kind of a storytelling style.
She's good at what she does, man. And I liked it. I like she leaves these little problems, like little issues. Like she went to bed to log out from Titan, and then she exits the game, and she's like, "Wait, I woke up, back at the station because she didn't know, this." And it's so nice because through the comments, people are helping her constantly with how to play the game, sending some crates to buy the ships, giving her tips. We'll talk about that, but like as a content creator, not too bad, I guess, because she can explore more ships.
No, but we talked about this a little while back. How
we're both against
kind of well, I mean, if you're trying to play Star Citizen as a game and somebody just drops 100 million AUEC on you, it kind of ruins the game. Like, it's fun initially because you just get to go on a shopping spree and buy all the ships and buy all the gear and stuff like that. But then you don't have anything to work for, and you can kind of peter out. In her case, it's different because she's a content creator and it's just more. And
she gets mind blown by the ship so far, because if you come from ED, like, this is the most interesting experience, I guess, like actually connecting to your ship, like actually connecting to your ship.
Well, and she touches on that a couple times throughout this series. Anyways, it's I think 6 or 7 video series. They're about 10 minutes each, I think. I can't remember, but it's refreshing. Longer, it's okay, it might be a little bit
late, but it doesn't matter, really. They're really good. They take you, and what you were about to say, the music is so good, man. She's really good with music. Like, holy
music editing. Her music editing is just like on point. Like I'm usually one who listens to this sort of content while I'm doing something else. This one I was engaged with. I watched it because I enjoyed kind of watching it, even though it's Star Citizen and I'm super familiar. But yeah, really honest take as well. Like, she doesn't sugarcoat things. You can tell that she doesn't know a lot about the game, so she gets some things wrong, but you know, and it's entirely possible that when she's through the honeymoon period it'll be a little bit of a different experience, but for now I think it's a very honest, very balanced kind of a take. It's interesting storytelling, good editing, good music. Definitely go check it out.
The other one, again, someone I don't know, it's kind of strange. So David Drury did a video that is called "To the Moon," a Star Citizen video, and this is a smaller channel. It's like under 700 subscribers.
Yeah.
But I really don't want to talk much about this guy. It's so good, and I wanna give credit to Rev from my Discord for sending this video to me, because I don't think it would pop up in my feed anyways, and I watched it. I've sent it to you after like 5 minutes of what I was like, you gotta watch this.
I actually did see it, and I meant to watch it, but then it got lost and I never ended up going back to it. But man,
what a story, dude. And this guy talks about both games.
Storyteller. Yeah.
Great. I have one tiny issue with it, and here's why. This is a video that is really good to listen to, but then it's so good to listen to that you start staring at the screen. Like, I usually listen to stuff and have it on the other screen, and then while I was playing something, I just had my face pinned to the other screen, and I was like, because he's so good, he takes you in with his story. Like, he's so good,
so engaging. Yeah,
there's one point where he's explaining something. I don't want to spoil any of this, but like certain location and certain event, and unfortunately B-roll there is not following it.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Everything
match.
else makes sense until that point. But it doesn't matter. Like, if you know Star Citizen, everything will make sense, and it's so good. And it's so funny. We're gonna laugh about this, but you guys, if you watch it, you're gonna laugh as well. And then I bought the ship. It's so good. His humor is spot on. Edit is good. Like, voice is great. I mean, I just like, this was an amazing experience to watch, honestly.
Yeah, and again, like, these are two people who are coming from ED. We're not hating on ED here. No. It's just interesting to hear people's stories and to hear the different perspectives of people who have played both games and
right?
Primarily were playing ED before this, and kind of just doing that switch over. And really good. This one's really good. Like, if you have to choose, I'm sorry, Commanders Will and Kate, but watch this one. But watch both of them. This one,
man. They're good. Watch everything when we present. Like them, subscribe to them. if it's someone who is in some bad spot, please say something
support,
nice if you can, or retweet or something. But yeah, with that said, I'm gonna let you sign us off, and we're done, man. Like that's it. It was a lot, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So if you guys have any content that you've come across that we haven't mentioned, feel free to throw it in the comments. We frequently are looking for stuff to watch, and we do make an effort. If you do share something with us, we try to kind of like watch it and then kind of highlight it in our next gossip episode. Though last time we forgot, sorry.
But we did in Stanton.
And yeah, if you like this sort of content, we do a typically very long form podcast every Sunday, live on my channel, twitch.tv/massacast, but also you can catch it here on YouTube as well. We are a tiny channel. We just do this for the lols. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind throwing us a like and a subscribe if you want to see more of this, it warms our shriveled, jaded Star Citizen content creator hearts.
Nice. We're gonna let you sleep, man. Everyone, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on Sunday/Monday whenever you watch it. Take care and have a good one. Bye.
Bye.